youngsters as we welcome you to Yankees spring training presented by Montefiore. As you can see, the tarp is off, was on a few moments ago. We'll take a look at today's Kia pitching matchup. But Ryan Ruocco, Jack Curry, Justin Shackle with you. Jack gives us a chance to talk about today's starting pitcher for Rodon and what you like, Jack, about what you saw.
Yeah, it was a 4-inning outing against the...
How about the LeMahieu situations, the Shack?
Yeah, guys, the x-rays were negative on that right foot for LeMahieu.
And just getting some work in. How have the Yankees discussed the amount of at-bats perhaps?
Individual has, he said, roughly 30 at-bats for him. So, you know, that's a player who was slowed.
Season, the lineup is bolstered enough that he doesn't have Volkswagen dealer. Brandon Marsh leading off. You see the productive 2023 season. Carlos Rodon, who will take the mound. How about Joe Torre out there in uniform exchanging the lineup cards?
Justin, Jeter, Mariano, etc. Just quite a legacy that Yes has built.
And Kevin Smith fighting for a roster spot alongside the starting shortstop Anthony Volpe. Gleyber Torres at first pitch from Rodon. He's just a tad low.
And that Wells will be catching Rodon, so...
But when one hits righty and one hits lefty, that adds a completely different fact. Being a left-handed pitcher. 2-2 here on Marsh. One hit, one run. The 2-2. Got him with the slider.
That pitch was right on the outside corner.
There's a strike. Out in the air. Verdugo. 0-2.
See the inside slider again, like you did against Marsh.
It changes the eye level. 1-2. The son of Rogers stays alive. Still 1-2. 1-2. Oh, right into the crowd, Mike. 1-2. Swing and a miss. 95. Torres coming up next. By your local Tri-State Volkswagen dealer. Volpe, Soto, and Torres at the top of the order. Then it's Stan, Verdugo, and Well. Strom on the mound for the Phillies.
Injury-free last season.
Anytime you get that out of a pitcher. Talked about it, Jack. He's had such a strong spring. Last year it turned into noticeable uppercut.
The Yankees felt he was collapsing on his backside last season. So you're in the strike zone.
A 3-2. That one is in there for strike.
Get the call right there.
Chops it weakly to first. That stays fair. Hall on the right side and Stubbs behind the plate. Oh, Torres also has had a really good spring. Get me to the start of the season.
100%. We spoke with Justin earlier about, he said he'd love to stay with the Yankees. Brian Cashman was asked about that. He said, let's stay in the Yankee offense.
The 1-2. Just missed. Really was a strong offensive outputting from Torres.
Walks by about 30, and when you aren't chasing bad pitches and you're putting...
Here's the 3-2. Ball 4 as Torres
starts. They never actually execute that. Give Gleyber Torres a lot of credit because last he needed to have better plate discipline.
Nothing aggressive there. Floats it into shallow right. Catch made. Back to work after a 1-2-3 top. Back to work after a 1-2-3 first. Rolls one to short. Volpe fumbles, recovers.
At such a fast pace.
This reminds me of a time.
Ouch.
I needed Anthony's foot speed to be able to handle it.
I don't know if Michael... How old were you?
How old was I? I was in high school. Yeah. Left on left.
It is also about just making sure you have those other pitches at your disposal.
A 3-2. Air to center field. Grisham waits.
Obviously, Rodon knows he's not a guy here as they're waiting for Cole to return. even if he's 90% of that pay change for the Yankees, if he can return.
Also the possibility of him returning to the excellence that we saw those two. Bottom of the second inning, Ryan Ruocco, Jack Curry, John Grisham. The new pitcher for 0-1. Regularly in the lineup for the Yankees this season. You think about the ways in which you also think about this guy and what he could provide behind the plate.
Yeah, left-handed power. I spoke to Kevin Reese, the Yankees vice president of player development. And we're going to listen, you've got a guy who can both hit and play defense at the major league level. Smile, and he said, well, you get your motivation from everywhere. Didn't Tom Brady sort of get...
Catches the bottom of this.
We mentioned those 2 gold gloves that Grisham has, Ryan. I asked him in spring. You've also got to get the jump off when the ball hits the bat.
Since 2020, by far and away the leader in outs above. Swing and a miss. Strong inning for as the #1 regional sports network in the country on the Montefiore Einstein and the people who've built it. They're just every time we walk into it, I think, unique feeling of camaraderie that we have and all take pride.
Our boss and he were going over what that opening should be and how stressed. Yes, has more than lived up to what Michael promised in that opening. He was a radio person making the transition.
First out. Grisham's Cal Stevenson. Just missed. Cutter and slider when you're dealing with a pitcher who's just throwing the cutter for the first time.
With a ton of tilt. It's not a Don's hand.
Volpe slides, shovel.
I asked Volpe the experiences that maybe were new last year feel more routine.
1-0. Go racing back is there just on the lip of the track through 3. No score. The legends will include El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, Jim Leyritz, and our colleagues. So be sure to visit legendsofbaseballcruise.com. Popped up. Dominguez, the new pitcher for Cabrera, followed by Anthony Volpe. Cabrera.
Because that heat is coming from Sir Anthony. You see what Cabrera has done, a slider and a changeup. And we're used to seeing Cabrera all...
Spring the time to try it.
To spring, you would have believed that he was in line for one of those spots. But I also think
his spring. Wow, that is long gone. Cabrera with his first. I think he wanted to give us something good to talk about from his spring production.
That ball was just mashed. If you didn't see who hit it, you
saw a lot of that when he initially came up a couple of years ago.
He was most comfortable with and restored himself. It was more about contact. But you ask any manager started there. I know it's a spring training game, but the Yankees are putting him there just for another option.
Soto goes the other way. That torrid start from Juan Soto. Oh, for a no hit.
That he was never going to get another hit. That's the way he approached.
Yeah, be interesting how does Soto approach them as he rolls out, trying to make sure he makes this roster. Goes out to right.
Coming off his last one where,
there it is! 2000! Back home.
You said at the
How
outset
good is it that they can enjoy that here in Pittsburgh?
That's his first major league hit. Anthony Volpe's first hit.
He's hoping there's going to be, what do you think,
that's where
2,000 more of those?
If he can go to the post all year long, I feel we'll look up and
experiences that you have a chance to win. In the MLB All-Star Celebrity Softball Game. Going on the field before the T-Mobile Home Run Derby.
Everything, and so avoided breaking the foot there, which was good. EJ and things he's dealt with foot-wise over the last few years, but with all the imaging we got and DJ, like, they're not going to battle through anything like that. Because the way he went down was DJ is, and the way he kind of wears things, I knew right away.
Aaron, with that in mind, knowing that those bruises,
this is not something we're going to, you know,
yeah,
I don't want him playing through of being there on a certain day. So it may be a couple days.
All right, that is Yankees skipper Aaron Boone joining us. Hey, Wednesday night, catch the next spring training game on Yes. As the Aaron Boone saying he should be in there after the off day and in on Wednesday. As Gregory
Wish list as Aaron Boone coming into this game, seeing Shea, but focus on the next task.
Yeah.
If today is your day, I think some of that is because of what Rodon has to deal with coming off a rough season. He's going to hear about that
on the work. He's looked good through these first four. He's got lots of swing and misses. Rips it down the left field line. That one is going to retrieves it. And the Yankees,
with strides that Torres made as a hitter last year, are so valuable.
Also wanted to dive back into some of what Aaron Boone was talking to us about. So the Judge stuff, I don't know if it's concern, but just hard to be sure about exactly how long it might be before.
What stood out to me too, Ryan, is when Boone told us, mentioned he talked about
cracks that, hit a center field right at Rojas out of Stanton, runner on third, one out.
Now that's a positive for Stanton. We're going to go.
There's Verdugo taking a strike.
Yeah, but point towards game one of the season and the fanfare and the first game or that first series, there's tribute to.
Verdugo slaps a single to center. Is 2-0 on the RBI single from Alex Verdugo.
DJ LeMahieu.
Right, maybe he's back in there a couple.
Right, exactly. If he has some at-bats within the next, as it ends up being. But the positive from Boone's perspective, no break in the past.
Here's the old lines that into right center. That's a base hit.
You're really leaning in on the facial hair, huh?
I am. It was Wells.
55 out of 55 dating back to college and his college, and Wells getting a hit. You look at Soto and his stuff and you say,
great point. Just misses on Grisham. Grisham with reverse splits hits lefties much better than righties.
And then as our Jeff Nelson has pointed, Major League level doing it that way. About the only thing I'm thinking of is it.
Go from Verdugo. We go to the fifth. Rodon back out there.